Have you ever noticed how the loudest person in the room is rarely the most respected? They talk over everyone. They dominate conversations. They need constant validation through words. And yet people tune them out, dismiss them, see right through them. Then there's the quiet one, the person who speaks once, maybe twice, but when they do, everyone listens. Everyone leans in. Everyone respects what they have to say. It's almost like silence holds more power than 1,000 words. Like the less you say, the more weight your words carry. Like restraint builds authority in a way noise never will. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are terrified of silence. They fill every gap, every pause, every moment with words, because silence feels like weakness, like they're being ignored, like they don't matter. The Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." And one of the most powerful thoughts you can adopt is this: silence is strength, not weakness, not passivity, strength. Today, you're going to learn why staying silent makes people respect you. 5 Stoic principles that turn quiet into power, restraint into authority, and fewer words into undeniable influence. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly when to speak, when to stay silent, and how silence becomes the most powerful tool in your presence. Let's begin. Principle 1. Silence forces others to fill the void. When you stop talking, people start revealing. Here's the first reason silence commands respect. It creates pressure, and pressure makes people talk. Think about it. You're in a conversation. Someone says something. Someone expects you to respond immediately, to agree, to challenge, to fill the silence. But you don't. You pause. You stay quiet. You let the silence sit. What happens? They start talking again. They elaborate. They explain. They justify. They reveal more than they intended. This is power, not manipulation. Power. Because when you stay silent, you control the rhythm of the conversation. You force others to show their hand while you keep yours hidden. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus taught, "Nature has given us one tongue, but 2 ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak." Translation: listen more, talk less, and when you do talk, make it count. Here's what this looks like in real life. Someone criticizes you in a meeting. Your instinct is to defend immediately, to explain, to prove them wrong. But instead, you stay silent. You hold eye contact. You let the silence stretch. Watch what happens. They start backtracking. "Well, maybe I'm wrong." Or they start over-explaining. "I just think that..." Or the room starts feeling the tension and someone else jumps in to defend you. You didn't say a word, and yet you won. Why? Because silence shifts the burden. The person who speaks first after a tense silence loses power. The person who waits wins. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Most of what people say isn't true or necessary. It's filler, it's ego, it's fear of silence. When you remove that filler, you reveal strength. Here's the Stoic method. Step 1. When someone finishes speaking, don't rush to respond. Pause. Count to 3. Step 2. Let the silence sit. Don't break it out of discomfort. Let them feel it. Step 3. Watch what they do. Most people will fill the void, and in filling it, they reveal their true position, their doubts, their motivations. Step 4. Respond only when you have something worth saying, not before. This principle alone will transform how people see you. Because most people are noise. You become signal. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." People imagine all kinds of things in silence. They're imagining what you're thinking, what you know, what you're capable of, and usually they imagine something more powerful than the truth. Let them. Action challenge. In your next conversation, when someone finishes speaking, pause for 3 full seconds before you respond. Watch how the dynamic shifts. Watch how they start talking again. Watch how much more they reveal. Principle 2. Less words, more weight. Your words become valuable when they're rare. Here's a truth most people refuse to accept. The more you talk, the less people listen. Because when you're always speaking, always sharing, always explaining, your words lose value. They become background noise, predictable, forgettable. But when you speak rarely, when you choose your words carefully, when silence is your default, suddenly every word you say carries weight. This is basic economics. Scarcity creates value. Abundance creates waste. The Stoics practiced this relentlessly. They didn't speak to hear themselves talk. They spoke to move people, to teach, to cut through confusion with clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be it." Notice what he didn't say. Waste time talking about being good. He said, be it. Your actions, your presence, your rare words prove it. Here's what this looks like in practice. 10 people are debating an issue back and forth. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone is talking over each other. You stay silent. You listen. You observe. Then, after 5 minutes, you speak once. Here's what we should do. 3 clear sentences. That's it. What happens? The room goes quiet. People listen. They consider. They often agree. Why? Because you didn't drown them in words. You gave them clarity, and clarity is rare. Seneca wrote, "First, learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." Most people speak first, then figure out what they meant later. That's why their words carry no weight. That's why people stop listening. But when you stay silent until you have something valuable to say, your words land. People remember them. People respect them. People act on them. Here's the Stoic principle. Ask yourself before speaking, is this necessary? Is this true? Is this kind? Does this improve the silence? If the answer is no, stay quiet. Let me show you 2 scenarios. Scenario 1. Someone shares a problem. You immediately jump in with advice, suggestions, your own similar story. You talk for 5 minutes. They nod politely. They forget everything you said. Scenario 2. Someone shares a problem. You stay silent. You listen fully. Then you say one sentence that cuts to the core of the issue. You stop talking. They remember that sentence forever. That's the difference between noise and signal. Seneca wrote, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." Your mind is unconquerable when you control your tongue, when you speak only what strengthens you, when you let silence do the heavy lifting. Action challenge? For the next 24 hours, cut your word count in half. Speak only when necessary, speak briefly, speak powerfully. Then watch how people start leaning in when you talk. Principle 3. Silence protects you from regret. What you don't say can't be used against you. Here's one of the most practical reasons to stay silent: protection. Every word you speak is a potential weapon someone else can use against you. Every opinion you share is ammo. Every secret you reveal is leverage. Every complaint you voice is a liability. But what you don't say can't hurt you. The Stoics were obsessed with this concept. Control what you can, let go of what you can't.
And one of the few things you can fully control is your tongue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." Silence is that cliff. Words are waves, and most people drown in their own waves. Think about the last time you regretted something you said. Maybe you vented to the wrong person. Maybe you spoke in anger. Maybe you overshared. Maybe you gave your opinion when no one asked.
Now imagine if you had stayed silent. Would you have that regret? No. Would you have that problem? No. Would you still have that dignity? Yes. Epictetus taught, if you wish to be a writer, write. If you wish to keep a secret, be silent. The moment you speak, you lose control of the information. You can't take it back. You can't control how it's twisted, how it's remembered, how it's used. But silence, you control that completely. Here's what this looks like in real life. Someone tries to bait you into an argument. They say something provocative, designed to get a reaction. Your instinct is to engage, to correct them, to put them in their place. But you stay silent. You don't take the bait. You let their words hang in the air. What happens? They look foolish. You look composed. They wasted energy. You conserved it. They gave you information about their character. You gave them nothing. That's strategic silence. Or another scenario. Co-workers are gossiping about someone. Everyone is sharing their opinion, their judgments, their stories. You stay silent. You don't participate. You don't add fuel. Later, when the gossip turns into a problem and management gets involved, who do they come after? Everyone who participated. Who walks away clean? You, the one who said nothing. Seneca wrote, "Speech is the mirror of the mind." If you want a peaceful mind, guard your speech. If you want respect, protect your words. If you want power, master silence. Here's the Stoic protection protocol. Step 1. Before speaking, ask, could this be used against me later? Step 2. If yes and it's not necessary, stay silent. Step 3. In tense situations, stay quiet until you know exactly what you're walking into. Silence protects you from missteps. Step 4. Remember, silence can't be misquoted, twisted, or weaponized. Words can. Let me be clear. This isn't about fear. This isn't about weakness. This is about wisdom. Wise people know when to speak. Foolish people speak whenever they feel like it. And the wise are always more respected than the foolish. Action challenge. The next time you feel the urge to vent, to complain, to argue, pause. Ask yourself, will saying this improve my situation or create a problem? If it creates a problem, stay silent. Watch how much drama you avoid. Principle 5. Mystery commands attention. The less people know, the more they wonder. Here's a truth about human nature. People are drawn to mystery. When someone shares everything about themselves, their opinions, their past, their plans, their struggles, people lose interest because there's nothing left to discover, nothing left to wonder about. But when someone stays quiet, when they reveal little, when they keep their thoughts to themselves, people become fascinated. Who are they? What do they think? What are they capable of? This is magnetic, and magnetic people command respect. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." The Stoics didn't overshare. They didn't broadcast their every thought. They lived with quiet dignity, and that dignity created respect. Here's what this looks like in practice. Someone asks you a personal question. What do you think about this? What's your opinion on that? What's going on in your life? Most people spill everything. They overshare, they explain, they justify. They need the other person to fully understand them. But you answer briefly, or you deflect politely, or you say, "I prefer to keep that private." What happens? People respect the boundary. They see strength. They become more curious. and curiosity creates respect. Epictetus taught, "Know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly." Know yourself deeply, but don't explain yourself constantly. Your depth is yours to know, not theirs to consume. Think about the people you respect most. Are they the ones who tell you everything, or are they the ones who carry themselves with quiet confidence, who reveal only what matters, who keep their inner world protected? The latter, right? Because mystery signals value. It says, I don't need your validation. I don't need to prove myself. I am comfortable in my silence. And people respect what they can't fully access. Here's another angle. Someone tries to get you to react to gossip, to drama, to controversy. Everyone else is chiming in with their take, their outrage, their opinions. You stay silent. You don't engage. You let it pass. What happens? People notice. They think they've got self-control. They think clearly. They don't get swept up in nonsense. That's leadership, and leadership commands respect. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." The same applies to speech. Delay revealing yourself. Delay sharing your thoughts. Delay giving people full access to your inner world. Let them wonder. Let them respect the distance. Here's the method. Step 1. Share less about yourself. Reveal only what serves a purpose. Step 2. When asked personal questions, decide if answering benefits you. If not, deflect. Step 3. Don't explain your decisions, your choices, your life. You don't owe anyone a behind-the-scenes tour. Step 4. Let your actions speak. Let your results speak. Let your presence speak. Your words can stay quiet. When you become a mystery, you become magnetic. When you overshare, you become ordinary. Action challenge. For the next week, when people ask personal questions, answer with less. Give them 30% of what you normally would. Watch how their curiosity and respect for you grows. Principle 6. Silence exposes the truth. When you stop talking, people reveal who they are. Here's the final and maybe most powerful reason silence commands respect. It reveals truth. When you talk constantly, you miss what others are really saying, really doing, really hiding. But when you stay silent, you observe, you see patterns, you catch lies, you notice inconsistencies. And people who see the truth are always respected, because truth is rare. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." But when you stay silent, you get closer to the truth than most people ever will, because you're not distracted by your own noise. Here's what this looks like. Someone is explaining something, their story, their excuse, their version of events. Most people would interrupt, would challenge, would offer their opinion. But you stay silent. You let them talk, and the more they talk, the more holes appear in their story, the more contradictions, the more reveals. By the end, they've exposed themselves, and you didn't have to say a word. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid by others. Why? Because most people think silence is weakness, is ignorance, is fear. But the Stoics knew silence is observation, and observation is power. Another example, you're in a group setting. Everyone is performing. Everyone is trying to be the smartest, the funniest, the most impressive. You stay silent. You watch. You listen, not just to words, but to tone, to body language, to what they're not saying. Notice patterns. Do their words match their actions? Do they contradict themselves? Do they reveal more than they intended? And in that observation, you gain knowledge, knowledge others miss because they're too busy talking. That knowledge gives you power, power gives you options, options give you control. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Silent people don't operate on imagination, they operate on observation,
and observation reveals reality. Here's the Stoic observation protocol. Step 1. In any interaction, let the other person talk 70% of the time, you talk 30% or less. Step 2. While they're talking, watch. Listen not just to words, but to tone, to body language, to what they're not saying. Notice patterns. Do their words match their actions? Do they contradict themselves? Do they reveal more than they intended? Use what you observe to make better decisions. Better decisions create better outcomes. Better outcomes create respect. When you're silent, people think you're weak, but you're not weak, you're watching, and watching makes you dangerous in the best way. Because you see things others miss, you understand people others misread, you catch lies others believe, and people who see clearly are always respected. Action challenge. In your next conversation, commit to listening 80% and speaking 20%. Watch what you notice that you normally miss. Watch how much more you learn. Watch how much respect you gain just by being present and quiet. Conclusion: silence is your weapon. You've just learned why staying silent makes people respect you. Silence forces others to fill the void. Less words carry more weight.